2013 brought many changes to leadership positions around the city. Some vacancies were due to new opportunities or retirements, and some organizations hope to go in a different direction. NCTV 17's Whitney Goodbread has a look back at some of the most notable departures.
5 local organizations said goodbye to their leaders this past year, and with those departures came the arrivals of new leaders with ideas and initiatives to move their organizations forward. In June, Fermilab announced Nigel Lockyer would be taking over as director of the Particle Physics Research Facility. Lockyer had been the director of Canada's TRIUMF laboratory for 6 years prior to his move to Illinois. Lockyer replaced Pier Oddone, who retired after leading Fermilab for 8 years. Before the start of the new school year, District 204 Superintendent Kathy Burkett announced she would retire in May of 2014, after being with the district for 35 years in many different capacities. Burkett started as a physical education teacher at Waubonsee Valley High School, and then continued up the ranks, first to principal and then to her current post.
I know that it'll remain just, to me, the magical place that it's always been.
The district has launched a national search for a new leader. After Naperville Library Executive Director John Spears announced he was leaving to take a similar role in Utah, the board named Julie Rothenflew, who was working as the library's deputy director, Spears' replacement in August. When Ryan Dowd announced he was leaving Hesed House after leading it for 8 years to start his own not-for-profit in Washington, D.C., the board hired Michael Cobb to step into that role. Cobb had previously served as the interim executive director for South Suburban Pads.
I love doing this type of work, but I was doing it out in the south suburbs. This is my home. I've been here since 1993 in North Aurora, and also serving up and down the Fox Valley corridor. So just the simple fact that this door opened, I had to at least check it out.
After just under a year on the job, the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce and President and CEO Mike Evans decided to mutually part ways in November. Evans cited personal obligations and demands of the job as his reasons for stepping down. The board then appointed Katie Wood, the executive director of the Downtown Naperville Alliance, as interim chief executive, while the chamber searches for a successor. The board is now accepting applications for the position, and Wood says she will not apply. November also brought the news of another retirement. Sue Broad, the executive director of the DuPage Children's Museum, announced she would retire in early 2014.
You always end up missing the people more than anything else. There's some fabulous people who've been engaged in this organization.
Broad joined the museum in 1991 and has seen it go from a 5,000 square foot building with 2 employees to a national award-winning museum with a 46,000 square foot facility and more than 300,000 visitors each year. Broad will serve on the search committee for the new CEO and will work to ensure a smooth leadership transition. I'm Whitney Goodbread for Naperville News 17.
Naples Settlement is still in the process of finding a new president and CEO after the departure of Peggy Frank earlier this year. Mike Kroll is currently working in the position in the interim.